Oh, hello, everybody.
Good evening, friends. Welcome to Achieving Wellness. Welcome to my good friend Ron, Unconditional Love, who is our guest tonight. Woo, 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 woo. Ron is in the house, friend. Ron is in the house. I want to say hi to everyone who's in the chat. I know there's lots going on, so I thank you for being here. This is going to be a conversation that is going to require your participation in. This is a conversation about forgiveness. And the reason why I asked Ron to join me is because I know personally that Ron has gone through a similar journey in that area as I have, in terms of he had to get there on his own, right?
Yes.
And so I felt like he was a great person to have with me to be able to answer any questions that you may have. And so what we want to do is we just want to talk for a few seconds about, maybe our own, thoughts and feelings on the topic of forgiveness. But this chat is for you. So if you have any questions, please do throw them up into the chat in regards to, like, how do you forgive? Do we have any tips? Do we have any tools? That kind of thing. And we'll do our best to answer. Charlotte is here to say hello. We were under a thunderstorm watch as well as a tornado watch here today. It was a hot mess, friends. It was so bad that I had to close all the windows and close the drapes. The cats were hiding. I was hiding because I don't like thunderstorms. Anyways, we survived. That's the important thing. So,
You're safe.
yes, I'm safe, and it's over now. So we're happy about that, because I'm telling you, when you look at the radar map and it's red, it's not a good idea. It's like, anyway, so we are here and we're ready to talk about forgiveness. And so Ron and I were just quickly talking backstage, and I want to say that both of us were saying, when it comes time to an individual that is carrying something that they feel that they need to forgive, it is not just enough for you to want to forgive, right? You need to be ready to forgive. And when Ron said that, I said, yes, I wholeheartedly agree. That was my personal experience. I wanted to forgive because I thought that's what I was supposed to do, because that's what everyone told me I needed to do. I needed to let it go. I needed to release it. I needed to, get past it, move on, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And so it's important to me that you guys understand that you have to be ready. And that was my thing. That was the thing that held me at a standstill position, was I didn't understand what that actually meant. Right. And I want to get into that later. But for me personally, that was my thing. What was it for you, Ron, that was the thing that kept you from
Well,
being able to process that forgiveness?
it took me years, and I'm talking about years and years and years and
Yep.
years since my childhood into an adult, late adulthood. I think I can count the years since I forgave. Maybe for it's around the 90s. I think I started thinking or doing that forgiveness. But
Yep.
to get there, first of all, I met people. Like, I took courses like everybody. I needed help, so I took courses, relationships, the courses, all kinds of stuff, because I needed help because I was screwed up, mentally screwed up, because of what happened to me, and what my stepfather did to me. I mean, I kept that story in my head all the time, and what I was doing actually was blaming him for all the shit I was getting now during the life. Because that's all I knew. But I heard somebody talking about forgiveness, and they told me something about maybe you should need to forgive. And my response was, "You don't fucking know what I've been through. You don't know my story. What the hell you know about that?" Know what I mean? And
Right.
then they stopped because trying to give me that advice because I I just because I was hanging on to my story. My story was like my identity. It was
Yes.
me, but it
Yes.
wasn't me. But that time it was like that belongs to me. That story, and nobody can take it away. And that's what happened to me. And then and I stayed in the victim mode.
Yes. Yes. I understand that.
Okay, so one day, uh, this this story came on TV, and you know what? The story was this woman uh, in the news. She lost her son. There's two young people were thrown off a bridge and killed, and one of them, but this woman was the mother of one of those. I don't know, it was the son, or I believe it was the son, or the daughter, and went to see that murderer in jail and told him to forgive me. I was there. What the hell? How can you do that? And that hit home for me. You know what?
Yes.
That was like, oh my God, that's how, if she can do that, maybe I should reflect on that story myself because
Yes.
nobody, I didn't
Yes.
get anybody killed in my thing, but somebody, how could she really forgives? And she did. And she looked, I saw her on TV and saw her talking about it. And I couldn't believe how they do that. How the hell do you get there? I
Yeah.
don't know how they get there. Then later on, more courses, more psychology and all this crap until he died. He died in the 90s.
Right.
And when he died, I guess I had partially forgave him. You know what I mean? Like awakened
Yep.
because of my journey. Then that when I found out he died, it's like a weight off my shoulder. Like I felt lighter. My mother was the same thing. My mother told me the same thing. And eventually I started becoming aware because where I started becoming aware because I was doing meditations, trying
Yes.
to help myself. And
Yes.
during your meditations, there's stuff that you release, you become aware. You're just then you realize, hey, those are programs that were planted in my brains. That doesn't belong to me. That's how I got to. I did gratitude first, and then I jumped into forgiveness. That's my story on that. But
I
I
love
mean,
that. And
it took the time it took because I wasn't ready. When you're ready, it happens, and you
yes.
can't force this thing, or you can't just go, "Wow, I forgive you." No, no, no. You got to understand the process of forgiving. It comes really, really deep inside. It comes from your soul, comes up. You become aware, and then when that happens, you take back your power.
Yes.
You do take your power, and then you say, "Oh my God, it worked," and then you feel so good about that. But you don't forgive the person for what he did. You never forget,
Yeah.
but you forgive yourself for hanging on to that shit all
Yeah.
your life.
Kristen, I've put a comment, Kristen's comment up here on the screen, and I will be doing that. So I want everyone, I've been saying hi to people in the chat as they've been coming in. This is Ron Unconditional Love for you that, or for anyone who doesn't know who Ron is. This is my good friend, and he is, I can't think of a better person to join me in this conversation. If you're not already subscribed, his link is in the description box below. I want to say hi to everyone in the chat. I've been typing in your names as we go, so thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, please do pop them in the chat. We're not doing readings tonight. This is about forgiveness.
Mhm.
And we were saying to Ron, I was saying to Ron backstage, we all have experienced that moment when we feel like we need to forgive because we want to move past something, because we need to get rid of something, because we want to move forward, right? Whether it's, you got, you had a bad interaction with someone at the grocery store, or, this is something from your childhood that you've carried forward for the last 40 years. It has levels and layers. And to Kristen's question, do you believe a person can heal by walking away without the expectation of forgiving? I don't believe that you have to forgive someone, especially if they aren't sorry. So, Kristen, I thank you very much for putting that in there. Here's what I want to say. Just a couple of Sundays ago, I had occasion to have Celtic Sheila on my channel, and somehow we got to the topic of forgiveness because I had made a comment about how I was able to forgive. And she shared something with me that honestly, it was one of those moments, when someone shares something with you and you think, my gosh, that was so simple. I don't know why I didn't think of it. Well, I know, I actually do know why I didn't think of it, because I wasn't in that mindset. I wasn't open, right? I was closed and I was in my own pain and I couldn't see my way out of it. What she said, and I'm paraphrasing here because I don't want to misquote her, but the way that she was talking about forgiveness was that she felt that she wasn't going to give that person any more of her power. And I love that. So many times we think of forgiveness is about letting someone off the hook, letting them away with something, letting them, like giving them like a free pass to, treat us like a doormat. That's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is about you, because you're it's your burden, it's your stress, it's your pain, it's your hurt that you're carrying, and you need to free yourself of that. So when you allow someone to take that power away from you, right, by holding on to it, right, let that go. Do not let them take that power away from you, which I just think that that's really, really interesting. Hi, Aiden. Nice to see you. So I just wanted to mention that. So that was something that Sheila said. And I thought that was really interesting because I never looked at it from that particular standpoint before. So yes. And so Kristen has just added to that, and then I'll let you go there, Ron, and give us your thoughts. She says, if we change the traditional definition of forgiveness, then it can be a tool of liberation. I agree. And that's really where I was going with that. I never thought of it that way. So I thought that was amazing. What do you think, Ron?
Well, I was going to say she said, especially if they aren't sorry. It doesn't matter if they're sorry or not sorry, or they aren't sorry. It doesn't matter. You gotta, when you realize they're living in your mind rent free, and it's screwing all your friggin' life.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
they're living in your mind. You take your power back, and you send you. What I did was send the whole package back to the, even if he's on the other side, I send him the whole thing back.
Yeah.
It's your issue. It's not my issue. You went too far. I might have had, like I learned, you signed when I was on the other side. I know you sign contracts. You sign contracts with your parents, whatever goes on in your life. You sign contracts before coming in. But I think he went overboard, and and I realized, without even having proof. Nobody told me about his life when he was young, and I finally intuitively realized he had an issue when he was young, and he gave it back. He dumped the whole package on me and my
Right.
mom. Okay,
Right.
when I realized that, I sent it the whole thing back. Then I liberated myself. I took my power back.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because he sucked the trust out of me. He sucked the whole self confidence out of me, and I had to learn how to practice self love.
Yes.
And nobody taught me that. I realized I had to do that. There's no courses out there that teach I never found any. I don't know if there exists, maybe exists today, but self love was never taught to me.
Right.
What was taught to me is love others and expect the best. like you know,
Exactly. And most of us come from
yeah,
that
yeah,
same practice where,
yeah,
do unto others, right?
yeah,
Most of us come from that same sort of teaching, or something similar to that, right? That if we're good people and we treat people well, then they will, treat us in the same kind. Um, Avant Intuitive, this is a great comment, sort of piggybacking on what Ron said. Yep, they all got a lot of free rent space in my head. I doubt they even spent a minute thinking about me. And I think that comment, what Ron was saying and what Ivana has said, that right there is
yeah,
a very, very, very important point when we're talking about breaking down forgiveness. Now, if you are sitting here right now and everything is fine and you don't feel like you have any uh, forgiveness situations that you need to work out, right? Your clear mind, everything is wonderful and balanced in your life, which, I mean, let's face it, that's not true for most of us. But anyhow, let's pretend for a second, shall we? That's when we can think clearly, right? So I have two theories about this particular thing. When someone hurts us, we react. We put up our defensive and our boundaries, and we want to protect ourselves. That is a human natural sort of inclination and human natural sort of skill, right? We want to protect ourselves, and the first thing that we think of is we go negative, right? Because we've been hurt, so we go negative. And where do we go? Well, you hurt me, so now I'm going to hurt you back, right? If you are not inclined to want to hurt them back in the same fashion that they hurt you, you embrace yourself and say, no, I'm not going to let you hurt me anymore. And when you go down that road, that's when you start saying, well, I'm sure I'm sitting here, boo-hooing away. And I'm going to tell you a story that I don't often share with many people, but, I had a problem in my first marriage. Which is, why I ended up divorced. And there was a moment in time where I was sitting there and crying my eyes out. And I remember sitting there thinking, my life is over as I know it. And I'm totally humiliated and completely embarrassed. And I feel like a failure. And everyone else is going about their business. And it's funny because, that was a long time ago. But when my mother passed away, there were moments in time that I felt that same kind of thing because, after 3 days, everybody went back to their regular life. And I was still trying to figure out, what just happened. So there's something in that comment that Ivana has written, right? That I doubt that they even spend a minute thinking about me. If we can rise above that from an emotional standpoint and think about it from a logical standpoint, that's when I think that we have a fighting chance to be able to counteract that, right? With the whole power thing, as I was talking about before, that Celtic Sheila said. I have another comment here. This Vonna had written this in the chat, that she was in victim mode for many years. Lots of protection there, as I didn't have to grow past it. I was a victim. When I was ready, I realized that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
right.
And
You're tired of you're tired of being a victim. When you
yes,
realize that, you
yes,
get so it's like, I don't know, it's like your soul and your anger come together and go, ah, that's it, that's enough, I can't take it anymore. All of a sudden you realize that you can almost realize that you can take your power back.
yes,
I
yes,
think that you just, it dawns on you, and
yes,
it's like, Jesus, because you went to the bottom. You can't go any further. You're right down in the gutter,
right,
and then all of a
right.
sudden you just, it's like you're underwater. You just shoot up to get a breath of air. That's what
Yes,
happened. Okay,
yes,
I've been there. I've been there, and I mean, I realized, what the hell? I'm tired of being a victim. I'm not going to be a victim for nobody anymore. But
Yeah.
then you get on another side of it, because then when you go out in the world, you don't friggin' trust anybody anymore. You just don't trust. Nobody's gonna do that to me again. Nobody's going to do this or do that. Then you're on balance. You sort of
Yes.
go in other directions, okay?
Yeah.
And you're 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 sort of I don't know how to say it. You're not balanced. You go in the other direction because you lost trust in humanity. You lost trust in people, and you need to be able. And the problem is, when you do trust yourself, it's funny. You can go out in the world and meet people, and then when you meet people, some you get along with, and your radar is wide awake.
Yes.
You know who to trust and who not to trust. Your radar is way up there. You're not a victim anymore. You know how not to become a victim again.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It,
it's
it,
very
that,
clear.
it is very true.
Yeah,
Amy says that I forgave my mom for what she did to me, even though she thinks she did nothing wrong. You see, I think the key point to what leads us to the point of feeling like we need to forgive someone, right? What leads us to the
yeah,
point where we feel like we need to stand in front of them and say, hey, you know what, you really hurt me and I don't like that kind of idea. I think what leads us to that point is the key to figuring out the steps to process our individual hurts, right? Because the key is your emotions have taken over, which is normal. Something my mom used to tell me all the time was when I couldn't figure my way out of something, right? Like we're talking like back in high school, that kind of, drama, that kind of stuff. This one doesn't like me anymore, and now that guy doesn't talk to me, or whatever the case may be. My mom would often say to me, what would your best friend tell you to do? So, in other words, getting myself out of this isn't about me. And so I used that advice when I was going through my healing journey over the last 10 years. When I do my mirror work, I speak to my reflection as if they are my best friend. It's not me that I'm talking to, it's my best friend talking to me, right? Because my best friend loves me, right? And so sometimes my best friend is a little bit wiser because she's not emotionally attached as I am. And so for this particular comment, right? Your mom doesn't see that she did anything wrong, which negates your feelings, which immediately amps up your protection and your defense mechanism and makes you even more hurt and more upset by the situation, right? That she's saying, like, I don't even know what you're going on about. That kind of idea. So you know how you feel. No one can take that away from you, and no one should take that away from you. What you do about those feelings is the important part. So if your mom and you have had a discussion and your mom thinks that she did nothing wrong, accept that for what it is and you release that. Don't hold on to that hurt. That is your mom's issue, not yours.
yes,
If that makes sense, right?
yes.
Want to say hi to everyone that's popped in the chat. We got something here from Genealogy Junkie. Lady with unknown father felt alone and abandoned. I found him and 2 half siblings. Her sister accepted her, but not her father or brother. She feels rejected again. Wish I could make her feel better. Wow.
Just keep on sharing your love. Just
Yes.
just just support it. You know, uh, you know, that's all you can do anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, just as a point of sharing. So again, I can only speak about, things that are my personal experiences, and it hurts me. And I know that it hurts Ron too, as it does most of us, because we're empaths and we feel things.
Yeah.
You know, we hurt when we find out and when we hear that other people are hurting. That like wounds us. Like I feel emotional over this story that you've shared. And I think that the best thing that I can say is thank God they have you, right? Thank God that they have you to be their friend, to be their heart, you know, to hold their hand, to be their shoulder, you know, to encourage them to laugh and to explain to them what it means to lift their vibration and invite more peace into their heart. Thank God that they have you. I wish I had someone like you, you know, when I was going through it. So I want you to celebrate that, like you're in their life for a reason. So that's wonderful. And the second thing that I would say is I agree with exactly what Ron said. You just keep loving them.
That's all.
You
That's
keep
all
loving.
you can do. I had
Yep.
the same thing happen to me. People supporting me while I was going through. Oh, they were patient. They even listened to me all that crap. You know what I was saying about my stuff, repeating it, repeating it, and repeating it. And Jesus, they tried to make me understand something, you know, and
Yeah.
supported me. And one day, thank God they were there because, you know, I might not be here today because, you know, you get depressed and you
Well,
get
that's the thing. You go down that rabbit hole, and that rabbit hole is no fun. And it doesn't matter. I mean, you know, one person's hurt is it's their hurt, and we don't know how other people feel or what they've gone through previous to that particular hurt. You know, we don't know what makes an individual fill up, as I like to say. You know, like you've hit your limit, and when you've hit your limit, you've hit your limit, and the only thing that you can do to help yourself is to, you know, one by one, sort of like, you know, start to work through that and release it. And it's not easy. It is hard work. Um, Ivana says, I started to let my true self shine, and I was eventually led to a great group of people, you and Ron, and all of the rest of you in the chat. Well, my friend, we are glad that you are here, and we're glad that you are part
yeah.
of this community. By the way, shameless plug, Vonna Intuitive, Carnomancy Mesquite joining me tomorrow night for Who's in the News Hollywood edition, 7 p.m. Eastern. Just saying.
I was
Uh,
going to say something about that.
yes.
My thing is that I got to a point so depressed and so even though I had a near death experience, even though I saw the other side, the unconditional love, but I guess I wanted to return. I wanted to go back there earlier than I was supposed to. So I tried to commit suicide. It got to a point. I wrote a little letter. I wrote a little note besides when I took an overdose. You know, it wasn't my pills, somebody else's pills, but I guess I took the whole bottle and an overdose because I took too many. I guess I wrote on a little note. I said, "Bye bye, cruel world." But that's exactly what I felt,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I said, I did, and it happened. It's not something I planned. It's something that went snap, just like this, Dunk,
Yes.
like a fraction of a second. Boom. That's it. I wrote that, and I laid down. Next thing when I woke up, oh my God! I promised I would never do that again. I promised God I wouldn't, or name it who you want. I said I will never do that again. And I went through hard times after that, and I proved my point. I never did it.
Yeah.
Never even thought about it
Yeah.
because because there's something. I must have realized something. And I said, I will never kill myself for another person in my whole life. Never,
Yeah.
never, never. Okay. And you were talking about something else.
It brings me to I just really quickly, I just want to say, you know, I have two first cousins that committed suicide.
Yeah.
The second person, my second cousin, committed suicide because he became so depressed because my first cousin committed suicide. And I remember, sorry, it's going to make me cry. I remember my second cousin kneeling at my grandmother's feet the weekend that my first cousin passed and saying to my grandmother, I would never do that. And then he did.
Yeah.
And I remember, there we are in the same funeral home with all the same people. And I was asked to perform the service for both of my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And as I stood at that podium facing all those people, all I could think of was, please don't let my aunt and uncle and my cousin that was living feel the anger from all the people in the audience. I wanted them to feel the same amount of love as was given to my first cousin, but they were angry at my second cousin. And that was so hard for that family to understand when they walked away from the service, because that would be the thing that they took away, right? Was the anger that was felt. How could he do this to us when he knows what we were just, what we just went through? Because I experienced that moment, no matter how deep I got, no matter how dark I got, no matter how low I got, I could not ever do that, because I've witnessed what it did to my family, and it literally destroyed my family. And I mean, it sounds bizarre that I would ever say that I am so fortunate that I experienced that depth of pain, because it taught me. It taught me so many things. It taught me to be grateful for who I am, no matter what my circumstances are. It taught me to understand that I am loved more than I could ever possibly realize, because in those moments, that's when our family, whether we're blood related or not, that's when our family reaches us, you know what I mean? And it was a horrific situation. That's all I'm going to say. And sorry, I didn't mean to get so emotional.
It's okay. What I was going to say is that you were talking about friends. Your friend, your best friend in the whole world is you.
Yes,
and
that's right.
Also can be your worst enemy. It could be you too.
Yeah.
So we're both, okay? So either you choose be your best friend, because you're the only one. You're the only one.
Yes.
The only one that is you. Okay.
Yes.
So, and another thing I wanted to say about that, even though I tried to do it, I survived. I promised I would never do it again. I had a test in my life.
Yes.
And the test, I can tell you about it because it happened 35 years ago before I was married. I had an ex-girlfriend who did commit suicide, and she had a little girl about 5 years old. So the little girl, I wasn't the father, but I started dating her and going out with her and things like that, and giving all my love and everything to her. I was really in love with her and everything. And the little girl, it didn't matter if I wasn't the father or not, but I knew she was having problems with her ex, whatever, the father anyway. So the little girl, the first time I saw her, she grabbed me on the neck like this and hung on to me. Oh my God. I mean, what a feeling. You know when a child grabs onto your neck like that because he feels safe with you. He feels comfortable. He feels loved.
Yeah.
Okay? And she was only 5 years old. So I actually lost both of them at the same time because I never saw her again. She must be in her at least 35, 40 years old now. You know, so because I didn't want to go through the drama and things like that, and in between her father and me, and back and forth like that. And I said, no, I don't want to. But that was a test to see if I could keep my promise, because I could have, you know.
Yeah.
I nearly went nuts, though. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I can well imagine. I mean, I want to go back to this comment. So, because this is great. I like what Amy's saying here. Like, this is reclaiming your power, Amy, and I'm
Yeah,
proud of you. Good for you, my friend. I have let her negative words go. My mom is how she is. I am how I am. Life goes on, and I am my true self. And I'm proud of you for
that's right.
saying
That's
that.
right.
I know I've missed a bunch of comments. I want to go back up here. Genealogy says that funny part is her brother wanted to prove us wrong and did a DNA test, which proved they are half siblings. There's probably a whole lot of stuff on the brother's part that he is
Yes.
struggling with in ways of trying to understand. I mean, I can't imagine. Ivana said, Ron, you share so much love. And thank you, everyone, for saying you're sorry for my loss. Appreciate you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Wendy says, nice to be here. And thank you, Anna. You're going to make me cry. You literally just showed how much you've grown. Last time you spoke about this, you were detached. Feeling your emotions as they pop up is the greatest proof of growth. Thank you, my friend.
It's touching when Wendy said, "What would we do without you, Ron?" About, you
Oh, did
know,
I miss that? I'm sorry. Yeah,
that's
it's the
that's
truth.
the exchange of love between. We don't need to be contact physically or close. Just what we're doing, and you get this love back from wow, it's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah,
yeah. Sherry says that there is no greater feeling than having the arms of a child around your neck in total acceptance.
yeah,
Kristen says, completely release it because I wish to honor that those children went through because of him. Yes,
yeah.
yes. Okay. So there you go.
That's it. Yeah, you're right about that. But also they also need to do the work with the child inside of them.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know what? Like,
Yeah,
like I said, right? It doesn't matter what your level of hurt is. The death of someone,
yeah,
someone at work, telling you that like you look funny or whatever. It doesn't matter what the level of hurt is. The point is it hurt you.
yeah.
And the first thing that we do, our natural, and I don't know where this came from, and that's like a whole other conversation, but our natural thing is like, I don't matter. My feelings aren't valid. They don't matter. They do. Your feelings matter. And that's the first step in forgiveness, right? Your feelings matter.
Yes.
So acknowledging that your feelings matter. Now, the second thing is it's okay for you to feel sorry for yourself for a little bit. It's okay to have a good cry. That doesn't mean you're a baby. That doesn't mean you're weak. That doesn't mean you're inferior. That means you're hurt. That's a release. It's a good thing to have a good cry. Or, go out for a walk and be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, as long as it's not out loud and, people don't call the police on you, then like it's a release. It's okay. It's all right that you're in a bit of a funk and maybe you want to stay in bed a little extra longer, for a couple of days. The point is, don't reside in it. Don't absorb it like a sponge and want to like throw yourself on the ground in a fit of hurt, right? Don't let the tears drown you, kind of idea, if that makes sense, right? Pick yourself up, remind yourself who you are. This hurt was done to you, not because of you, right? It was done to you, not because of you. So, as we mentioned before, you have to be ready. Okay, I'm done with it. I want to let it go. I want to let it go because I have too much to offer. I want to shine. I want to stand in my power, right? I am too good for this state of weakness and, woe is me. And like, everybody look at me. Those people, for example, I'm going to call some people out. And when I say that, if my husband's listening, he'll know who I'm talking about. Um, those people on Facebook that go, oh my God, I'm just having the worst day ever. Right? And that's it. They don't tell you what the worst day was. They don't tell you what's wrong. And then everybody, all their friends, all 600 of them are like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, right? That's the stuff that you want to stay away from. Because that right there is victim mentality.
Right.
And that is how you take the level of your hurt, whatever your emotions are, and take it to the next level where you are holding on to it and embracing the hurt rather than embracing yourself and trying to make yourself feel better. Right?
Where it starts is when I give you an example. If somebody tells you you're stupid, as soon as you believe it, you become the victim.
Yes.
As soon as you believe it. So if you know this, you become aware of this. So when other things happen, somebody says, "Well, blah blah blah," or you have the feeling, and somebody said something to you. It's when notice it starts when you start believing, and it starts
Yeah.
hurting them
Yeah.
because it's not true.
Yeah. It's really the same kind of idea. And I'm going to use this example because we all, I don't care who you are, I don't care where you're at in your life, we all have something
Yeah.
in like on our person, right? A physical attribute that we don't like, right? We could all stand in front of the mirror and be like, girl or guy, look at you. You're a hot mess, right? I don't like my arms, my fingers are too fat, like whatever, right? My feet are too big. We could all do that. We could all stand in front of the mirror and pick ourselves apart if we wanted to. A lot of people avoid mirrors, so they don't do that. Why not just look at yourself and say, you know what? You see those wrinkles? I've earned every single one of them. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, I don't want to sound ridiculous, but that's how I feel, right? Like, I'm 57 years old in another week and a bit.
Well,
I've been through hell and back in my definition.
yeah.
But you know what the best part is, my friends? Thanks to people like my good friend Ron and you guys in this community, my husband, my sister, my nieces, my brother-in-law, because of you guys, because of spirit, because my awareness has been opened up and people have embraced me and supported me and really made me feel loved. For the first time in 10 years, I look forward to my birthday because I actually feel like I have cause for celebration. I actually feel like I have a purpose. I actually feel like I'm excited about what the future holds.
Mhm.
That in itself is an amazing, amazing thing and speaks to the power of this community. And I thank
Well,
each and every one of you for it. But but to my point, that's the point that you got to get to. You got to get to that point, and you will know when you're ready. And we will be here to help you until you get to that point. That's what this conversation is about, right?
I turned everything positive because I came from hell, and I went all through that till now. Okay, and I
Yeah.
said, why did I experience all this stuff?
Yes.
Guess what? The positive thing is that I can help a lot of people, because there's people that will. I tell you, they could not go through what I went through because they wouldn't be here. They wouldn't survive it
That's right.
mentally, emotionally, or physically. I'm telling you, something would let go. But I said, geez, there's something very, very powerful about me going through all this stuff. And
Yeah.
I became aware of it, and I said, how come? Why me?
Yes.
You know what I mean? That there's something that's following me around in this life that gives me that strength. It's spirit, my soul. I don't know. I was healed.
My friend, that was beautiful.
Wow. That's why I call myself a raw unconditional love. It's that unconditional love that follows me around. But
Yeah. It does.
I didn't know about that when I was a kid. I didn't see unconditional love when I was getting beaten up by an alcoholic or two alcoholics, and I was the only one. No brothers, no sisters, and I took the whole package. I've been through it.
Yeah.
I've been burned in third degree in my face, and look at me now. I'm not, and it doesn't show. I've been through. I've been through somebody committing suicide. I almost committed suicide myself. What else? Uh, there's so many things I can tell you about, but
I mean, yeah, when someone says to you, like to Ron's point, I've had people say to me, like, you should write a book. I mean, your life sounds like a movie script.
yeah.
I don't,
But, I don't
whatever.
know. Somebody told me, yeah, somebody,
I
one
want
of
to
my
say,
cousins told me about that. I
We-
should write a book about my life.
yeah,
But you know what? I don't like writing anything. I like explaining stuff. I
but
like,
here's the point, though, Ron. Here's the compliment about that, because write a book on the part that's happening right now, right? Because the end result of all of that pain is this beautiful, kind, compassionate, unconditional, loving individual that is here spreading love and hope and lifting people up. That is the end result of all of that pain. You are a walking, living, breathing, talking example of how to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move forward with joy.
so
That's
okay. When I worked on myself, that child inside of me, I became aware of something.
yeah.
I was a child of love. I was not a child of hate. I was not a child of criminal aptitudes. I was not a child of violence against others. I was
Yes.
not. I had that already inside. See what I mean? And I realized it.
I'm kind of laughing because of what Kristen wrote. Sorry if I typed something or typed anything weird. I left the room, and when I came back, my new kitten was sitting on the keyboard.
Meowing. Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's too cute. Amy says, people say the same about me. They ask me how I can be so loving and forgiving when I was treated as badly as I was and continued to be. I just tell them I was told to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the part, right? This is the part about what is beautiful about when the forgiveness happens, right?
Yes.
Now we're at the part where we have done the work, whether like the inner work, right? We've talked to ourselves, we've heard ourselves, we've released our emotions, right? We have done the work. Maybe we've taken a class, maybe we've sought out a therapist, maybe we've journaled, maybe we've manifested, maybe we've meditated, maybe we've done all of those things, right? And we're now at the point where we understand that this is something that we can actually do.
Mm-hmm.
And we start to release. And I'm telling you guys, again, this is going to probably make me cry, but I say this with great amounts of pride. And I say this because I want everyone to know that I am no different than you. We're all human beings, and we all experience pain, right? When I came here, I was broken. I had no idea what I was going to do. When I started my channel, the only reason I started my channel, to be perfectly honest, I have no plan. I had no idea. I was on Allie from Heart and Soul Connected's channel, and I just started talking. And before I knew it, the chat was going, and people were being so supportive. And I was like, my bucket was filling up, friends. My bucket was filling up. I've never felt that much love. And I was like, okay, that's it. I'm doing it. I'm starting a channel. I mean, that was the plan. There you have it. What I didn't know I was going to do was I was going to walk on out to my backyard, because it was something that Scott Allen had suggested that I do, was put in action to forgiving. And I walked out to my backyard. I lit my fire pit in the middle of November. November in Canada, it's cold, friends, just saying.
Yeah, it is.
Right? I had so many people in the chat supporting me. I wrote my letters. I read my letters. I tossed them in the fire pit, and we watched them burn.
Yeah.
And I instantly felt relief. Now, for those of you that now know me, because you've been with me for a little while, I walked away from that backyard after doing that live, walked out to the kitchen, made myself and my husband a steak dinner. Friends, I don't cook on a regular day. So the fact that I was able to do that, that was huge. That was a moment. I felt the love that night. I felt the joy come back into my heart. It was beautiful. It was amazing. And if you feel like it might be helpful, I encourage you. It is on the channel. Go, maybe watch that.
You know what I love about this community is all you people coming in these chats, and
Yes.
I'm aware that all of you come here and heal. We're healing each other, whether you know it or not, whether you're conscious of it or not. We're all
Yes.
coming. You're no different than me, or Kelly or anybody. We're up here. You're not on screen, but it doesn't matter because every one of you went through something, and we're all helping each other heal. That's my goal in life, to unite everybody to come together, and I believe that's what's called awakening. That's what we're working on it. We're light beings awakening all over the world. I
Yeah.
mean,
You're
I
making it
never knew
so many
so many
people's
people
lives.
from all over the world. I come from Quebec, you know, part of Canada. But look at, I'm doing an English channel. It's not my language, but
Right.
I get these people from all over the world, China. These people all over the world came in my chats. I'm just there blown away. What is it that why people are coming? That's because Spirit is sending them because
Yeah.
they need to heal. That's
Yes.
it's not about all tarot. It's not about knowing the tarot, the how to read tarot or all this. That's secondary.
Yes.
That's how an activity. Okay,
Yes.
but the real reason why we come in these shots is to heal each other, share love, and be able to express ourselves so that we can get out of this. You know,
Well, we came here seeking connection in one
yeah,
form or
yeah,
maybe multiple forms, but
yeah,
that's what I believe drove many people to this community. The point I think that's important to what Ron was saying is that what kept us here, right? What continues to keep us here is because we feel the love, we feel the support. You know, there are so many moments that I remember when I, specifically going into different chats and like the first time that person said that to me, or
yeah.
the first time that this person read a question or whatever the case may be, like I remember those moments, you know, like flowing, for example, right? Flowing is here. I remember flowing from so many different chats. And
Jay's
remember,
here too.
yeah, I know Jay's here.
I
I
started my journey with Jay too.
Yes, you did.
No, yeah.
When I remember being in a chat one time with flowing, and I had asked the reader a question
Mhm.
regarding my mom, and I've told this story before, and later on, a couple of moments later, flowing said something, and I was like, you know what? She said, like, what's on the wall? Your mom's pointing at the wall. And I was like, my mom's pointing at the wall. Like, what is she talking about? Right. And I was like, okay. So I said, well, I've got a sign on my wall that says believe, which is my mom's favorite word. And it's got blue butterflies. And she's like, your mom's there. And so the point I'm making is that was a wonderful, amazing gift that she gave me. And like, she's just my chat buddy. Do you know what I mean? And so, I mean, she brought me so much joy in that moment that has like a place in my heart that I'm never going to forget. I'm tearing up just as I say it, because and I know that Flowing knows this, but I mean, in that moment, she might not have realized what she did for me, the gift that she gave me by telling me that. I mean, it was such an amazing confirmation and such an amazing acknowledgement. And that's the power of this chat, right? That's what we do for each other, right? It happens in every chat. It happens in every room that you go into. Someone's saying something, someone else is saying something, and then right out of nowhere, someone put something in the chat that was meant for you to read, meant for you to take in and absorb and sort of like marinate in. It's a beautiful, beautiful, powerful thing. I want to show you guys something. So just before we get like totally sidetracked, because I'm going to get sidetracked. I can feel it coming because I feel really, really good. I feel really happy. And I didn't think that when I was going to leave this chat that I was going to be feeling happy. You know, sometimes when I come and do these chats, they're hard, right? Because they're emotional. But I feel really good right now. And that's because of you guys. That's because of Ron, because I feel like I'm in safe hands. That's because of you guys, because you're all sharing yourselves. And there is nothing more beautiful to me than watching each of you share a little bit of you with each other to support and lift another person up. It's just an amazing thing to watch. So the last thing that I want to say about forgiveness is this. There is no timeline for forgiveness. You can hold on to a hurt no matter the size of the situation. You can hold on to it for 5 minutes or 55 years.
Yeah. It's up to you.
It's up to you. Thank you, Ron, because that's a little, I was like, yeah, because it's up to you.
Yeah, it's up to you.
I don't like that. When I first was trying to process what happened to me, I did not like that. I still try to be very careful when I say that. And so I want to explain if I can. When people say it's your choice, you deserve, or you decide whether you're going to be happy or not, I don't like that, because that implies that you have decided that you don't want to be happy. And I don't believe. Bye, Nancy. Have a good night. Blessings, my friend. Thank you for being here. I don't believe that anyone truly desires to be miserable. I don't believe that. In that moment, you might, yes, but I don't believe that that's your goal. I want you to understand that if you hear anything that we said, acknowledge the pain, acknowledge the hurt, acknowledge that it happened, you know, marinate in it a little bit, and then start to pick yourself back up, right? By doing all of those things that we suggested, meditating, getting a therapist, talking to your best friend, mirror work, oracle cards, manifest intentions, journal writing, all of those things, walking and talking, right? All of those things, right? The cleansing that you can do in the bath or the shower and allowing it to, the good cry, all of those things are going to help release. And then when the moment arrives that you have decided that you want to take your power back, that I am sick and tired of being that, whatever that is for you, that, my friend, is when the choice is yours to make. And what you don't realize is you just made the choice. When you do that, you've made the choice. And now you can move forward. And when you move forward, the opportunities and the possibilities, I mean, they're just beautiful. They're just beautiful. So don't deny that to yourselves.
And when you do it, you get lighter. You feel lighter. You feel like, oh my God, I feel lighter, like a big weight off your shoulders and everything. So I wanted to talk about the other side.
Yeah.
When you get, because I've been on the other side. The other side, how it works. When you arrive on the other side, I'm talking about unconditional, you received an unconditional love. I'm just going to say something about that. You are honored. You are loved and honored like there's no words to it. I just want to share that.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's the example for me. I would like to see in this world that everybody should be honored for who they are, uniquely, who they are, how they are, everything. Because I know what goes on the other side. You are honored beyond your imagination. Like wow, you're accepted, honored. You're not judged. There's no judgment. There's no race. There's nothing but beautiful.
Yeah.
The beauty of the connection. That's what I'm trying to. I have a dream to see that on Earth. I I hope I might not be alive, but I don't know. I'm trying to see that happen here. So, anyway,
I think this is an interesting point that Wendy puts up here. I don't believe in closure. There's never closure, in my
no,
opinion. That's not an uncommon opinion, Wendy. Honor your opinion. Um, I think that it's an individual thing. Um, I think closure is one of those words that's very much like forgiveness that people don't necessarily like. Closure means different things to different people, I guess is the best way to put it, in my opinion. Um, how do you get closure when you're closed? That was something that I struggled with, and just very quickly. So when my mom passed, right, there were so many reasons why I had difficulty getting past that, right? It wasn't because my mom died. You know, here I go again. Waterworks. My mom suffered. I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want to see that. It was horrible. I just wanted her suffering to stop. And if that meant that she had to die, I mean, so be it. Just make that pain go away for her. It was awful to watch. Why couldn't I accept it? It wasn't her death that I didn't accept. It wasn't my mom's passing. It was the circumstances and situations around it that I had issue with, right? My mom was denied her dying wish, which is where she wanted to be buried and how she wanted that to happen, right? We were lied to our faces and told that doesn't happen there anymore. They don't do that. Well, my friends, last year, we did that. And I could not let that go because I was holding on to it, right? In a very negative way. I wasn't holding on to it like one day I'm going to fix this. I was holding on to it like, how could you, right? How could you do this to my mom? That's what I was doing. And so I was never going to get closure. Did I get closure in the end? No, but what I got was peace. And you know why I got peace? It wasn't because we were able to do what my mom asked of us. It was because I allowed it to go. Because at a point, I realized that holding on to it for 9 3/4 years was not healthy for Kelly. And I literally, as I approached my birthday, and as I said earlier, I didn't know that I was going to have another birthday. You know what I mean? And so that's why I was at the point where I needed to let it go. And so I don't closure. I don't have closure. I have peace, if that makes sense. So I agree with you. Not everyone gets the closure that they want or that they're seeking. But at some point you sort of start to weigh out your options, right? I can't see because I'm crying my eyes out over here. Sorry, friends. Who knew Kelly was such a waterworks?
anyway, life is like is always transforming.
Yes.
And at the moment, this moment, is past. The next moment is in the future. Whatever, it's it keeps on going. There's no stopping to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
part of life. That's the way.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. Okay, so my good friend Ron, what is coming up for you on your channel, my love? Do you have anything that you want to share with anybody?
Well, I'm trying to do a live on Saturday again, so we'll see. I'm trying to find some collabs.
Woohoo! Okay, so just so everyone knows, when Ron on Saturday night, when Ron goes live, it's 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. For all those that are interested, please do go show my friend Ron some love. If you're not already subscribed to his channel, his link is in the description box below, and of course, I appreciate that. Now, before you all go, I have so much going on. I barely know the days of the week. If it wasn't for those little underwear, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I could before. So
You
the ones that we
stuff like Linda G. Little
right.
underwear.
Well, we used to get the days of the week underwear. It has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so forth on it. So keep me straight. So I want to say this that tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, Avana Intuitive, Cartomancy Mesquite are on for Who's in the News Hollywood edition. Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, I'm going on to Purple Elephant, Deb H's channel. Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, back here at dzncats, Thayer and Tarot Stash will be joining me for Sunday Connection, so mediumship and tarot readings. Then Monday, Circle of Friends, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I think that we're doing Lionsgate readings. And so next week is my birthday. Okay. Next week is my birthday. I'm going to be 57. Oh my God. And my birthday is on the 11th of August. So you will see up on the channel right now, there's 2 save the date kind of things for my birthday. Okay. On the 10th, which is Wednesday, at 9 p.m. Eastern, I have some, everyone is special to me. I love everybody mostly everybody in this community. I'm kidding. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I have some people coming that I wouldn't be in this spot sitting here having this chat with you all if it wasn't for these people. So I've invited those people to come and join me on Wednesday, and I hope that you can join me for that. And then on Friday, which is the 12th, we're at the fire pit, where I have invited a whole whack load of people and other people that I'm sure that I have forgotten, because there's only so much room in an email, to come and join me. And can I just give you a sneak peek of what I've got? Can I show you what I got, you guys? A little bit of a sneak preview. Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
So I ordered my baton from Amazon, and it came on Sunday, and I am so excited. And I have to keep it hidden over here because the cats are trying to eat the rubber ball. So that's hysterical to me. Just didn't know. And I haven't been able to go out and practice because I've been on every day, and it's been raining when I'm not on. So that's funny to me. But I'm going to go out there and practice and twirl and have some fun, and you know what? Embrace my inner child. No, it doesn't light on fire. That's a whole other baton. I have to get someone from the United States to order me a fire baton and send it to me, because for me, I can't. Well, I mean, I could order it from here, but it would cost me an arm and a leg. So. And that I got on Amazon, which was hysterical that I could even do such a thing. So I just wanted to point that out. My birthday is coming up. I want all of us to be together. I understand, obviously, people have things to do, but if you can come, that would be great. If you can't, that's okay. There's always replay. But this is a night of fun and celebration, and sitting at the fire pit is my idea of a good time. So I hope we can do that. And then, there's all kinds of other things going on. I think on the 11th, Anna Banana is coming, because that's a full moon, and we're going to do full moon readings. I don't know. Honestly, I'm here every day of the week. I don't.
What is strange about the 11th? What is strange about the 11th?
What's strange?
Without you knowing it, I told you.
Yes, you did. You told me.
My ex-girlfriend was the one that committed suicide, was on the 11th of August. You just can't make this stuff up. I never thought I'd meet another one on that, especially that day. So
yeah. Teresa says my younger sister just turned 57 on July 25th. Another fellow Leo.
Yeah.
And by the way, you guys, it's a really powerful time right now. Energy is swirling all about. So, and yesterday was my older sister's birthday. Turned the big 60. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Oh, you turned 75 on July 25th. Well, happy birthday. Look at all the fellow Leos in the house. Woohoo. Oh. I love it. I love it. I
used to know a guy named Leo, but besides that.
Oh, did you?
Hey, I had an uncle. My Uncle Leo. Yeah, right.
Oh, there you go. Your Uncle Leo. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're all dying to see me twirl the baton, friends. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what is so funny? So I'll tell you this little quick story. So it came on Sunday, and I said to Mark, like, don't take it out of the packaging until I measure it and make sure that it's big enough, right? So there was only 3 sizes or 4 sizes available because remember, I'm on Amazon, the Canadian site, not the American site where y'all can get anything you want on Amazon. We can't do that. And if you look up how to measure a baton on the internet, there's multiple ways. Well, all I know is that I started twirling baton when I was 4 and a bit. So there's only one way I know how to twirl or how to measure, and that's you put the small end. This is the small end. This is the big end. You put the small end underneath your armpit, super comfortable, FYI. You take your hand and you extend it to the ball. Okay. And that's how you measure a baton. So it fit perfectly. Funny story is that my baton that I used to twirl is 29 inches. This one's 28, and it's actually like a smidge too big for me. Anyway, it's not the same baton that I'm used to. Mine is, they have different batons shaped for different reasons. I used to have like a thick baton. Mine is this is 3/8. Mine used to be 7/16 of an inch, and it had like divots in it. So the divots are just when you twirl it, it catches the lights in it, sort of like casts a sparkly kind of thing. It was for show. It wasn't for any other reason. But this is what you call a finger or a roll baton. And the reason why you get this is so that you can go through your fingers faster, right? It rolls through the fingers better, if that makes sense. There you go. But anyways, the thing is, it's real, and that was the important part. And it's completely balanced, which is another very important thing. You can't twirl a baton if it's not balanced. So anyways, there's my baton story. And so, stay tuned for future baton twirling performances. There will be none, just FYI. I'm joking. I'm not.
How do they balance the? How do they,
Well, it's a steel, so it's steel, right?
yeah,
It's made out of steel, and it's balanced by the rubber balls that are
that's
on.
what I thought. It was in the rubber balls. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you have the big end and you have the little end, and the reason why there's the 2 different ends is that's what causes it to tip, right? So yeah. And there's all different batons and all different things that you can do with them, but they're all meant for different reasons. Like there's ones that have what they call flutes in them. So it's actually like almost like it's squished together in the middle. So it puffs up on the edges, if that makes sense. And that's used for another reason. Then of course you have some that have some sort of shock absorption technology in the end, so that when the baton drops, it won't roll, because of course this rolls, obviously, right? It's a circular end on here.
Yeah.
And they have shock absorbers put in them so that when it hits the floor, it stops. They've in some cases, depending on the company, they've put like little sort of treads, I guess you'll call them, around the rim of the big end and the little end. So when you drop them, they don't run away on you. Because when you're in a competition and you drop your baton, that's points, obviously, right? And so you don't want it to roll away and then you have to like run across the room. So that's the whole point of that. Oh, you know what, Ivana? Honestly, baton twirling, it is crazy to me that from all my years in competition, that people would say to me like, "Oh, you twirl baton," like, "Oh, I played that," and it's like, first of all, it's not an instrument. It doesn't make any noise. People have no idea the intensity in which baton twirling is done, practiced, and what is involved. And there are so many technical things behind the scenes that it would blow people's mind. Like, honestly, you tell me another team sport that 104 or 105 team members have to be in complete unison for 5 to 7 minutes straight. I don't know another team sport that has 104 or 105 members that have to be synchronized. I mean, think about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 103, 4, or 5 people that must be in complete synchronicity for up to 7 minutes. That is really, 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 really hard to do.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. We used to do this thing called inspection, just FYI. I mean, since we're on the topic, hey, why not, right? We used to do this thing called inspection. So because I was a military-based corps, so we line up. So in the senior corps, this is the older kids corps, we'll call it that. So you have your twirlers, you have your color guard, and you have your drum corps. And then you have your National Guard, right? So the National Guard is the persons that hold the Canadian flag and the provincial flag, the shield and the rifle, obviously not real, fake. Then you have the color guard. Those are the people that twirl the flags. Then you have your drum corps, which is obviously drums. We had keyboards as well, which is part of the drum corps. You have your drum major, and then you have your twirlers, right? And all of you have to line up for inspection before you take the floor for competition. So imagine 102, 3, 4, 5 people have put in 1 year's worth of practice to get to one competition. And you are there, you are ready, you've paid the money, you got the buses, you fundraised, you worked your butt off all year, and there you are. You line up. You have 3 things, 1, 2, 3 things that you can declare. In other words, we're saying that this might be wrong so that you guys don't take points off of us. So, for example, your little white running shoes, that's what we wore. So the eyelets around your shoelace, some are white and some are silver. We must declare that. The color purple, because that was our colors, the color purple in your zipper is a different shade than that girl's color. You got to declare that. So imagine how many things you could declare. So when you do inspection, the leader of the baton twirlers and the drum major, as well as a judge, walk in between all of you. You stand perfectly still, staring at the spot on the wall. You can't move. And if you happen to be so bold as to look down the line, you can see the whole line just doing this, like everybody's weaving and bobbing, because it's hard to stand there for 5 or 6 minutes perfectly straight. People have fainted. My sister fainted one time. You can't move. You're there. If you don't pass inspection, you don't get to compete. So when I say it's serious, it is serious. It is no joke, right? I went to school with curlers in my hair. I used to have a big shirt of my dad's that I wore over top of my uniform, milk bags on our feet so that we keep our shoes clean, tinfoil on my baton ends so that these would stay clean. It was it was a lot, but I loved it. So anyway, no one cares. I'm going on and on. I love you all. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Ron, for sharing this space with me. I will see you next Friday. Yeah. And I want to say thank you to everyone for being here. Please don't stop doing what you're doing. And before we go, let's do a code word just for everybody. Code word for everybody. If everyone remembers what the code word is. It only works if you know what the code word is. Code word for everyone. I'll start. Code word for everybody. There you go.
Hugs.
Code word for everybody. So please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. By the way, thank you to all the new subscribers to the channel. I'm sitting at either 298 or 299. So I am just beyond grateful and appreciative for everyone's support. Thank you so kindly.
I wanted to share something.
Yes.
YouTube was playing games, so make sure you are still subscribed to all your channels that you go to, because there's some people get unsubscribed by YouTube, not by them, but by YouTube. So
yeah,
because it happened to me. I dropped about 10 to 12 people that I don't know what happened anyway. So make sure you're still subscribed. So
yeah, it's important.
Just go there and check it.
Yeah, it's important. If you notice that you're not getting all the notifications that you're looking for, that's a good idea to go check that out for sure. I do want to mention that So Achieving Wellness next time. So not next week, but the following week. Allie from Heart and Soul Connected and Valerie from Illumination Portal will be joining me, and we'll be talking about how to overcome obstacles. So if ever you guys have an idea about a chat, please do, pop it in the chat or email me if you don't feel like sharing it publicly, or, leave a comment underneath the video, and I will do my best to accommodate. So thank you, my friend. I love you lots, and I appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Have yourself a wonderful evening. Many, many, many blessings to you. Mwah. Bye, everybody.
Take care. See you around.